Holloway Consulting Group
strives to demystify project management.
At Holloway Consulting Group, we demystify project management and process improvement.
Have you ever felt that little twinge of doubt right before you're about to kick off a meeting or right before you're about to lead something new? I know I have. I felt it just an hour ago before a meeting I had with a client that can be a little bit demanding. I'm Quan with Holloway Consulting Group, and today I just want to unpack a little bit the importance of confidence in leading projects well, and what it means to be a confident project manager, and not so focused in thinking only that our skill set as a project manager has to be our technical expertise. I think project management is just as much about leading people confidently as it is about delivering tasks. Confidence isn't about, in my opinion, confidence isn't about having all the right answers, but handling things with clarity and with calm, being able to stand firm in the midst of chaos and share how you'd like to move forward. So great project managers aren't perfect. They're just people that are very prepared. And so I want to give you a couple of tips on being that confident project manager. I have 3 tips. And if you've listened to me before, I think I have 3, but sometimes I have 5. I'm really good at math though, I promise. Okay, number 1, know your role. If you are the project manager, you are the leader of that initiative. You're the leader of that effort. So know your strengths. Be very clear on what your strengths are so that you can lead from that, and also what your weaknesses are so that you can shore yourself up on those places that you're weak and it doesn't impact things overall. And so I know my confidence and my strength is talking to people, building relationships. Sometimes I don't want to be as detailed on the task as I should. And so I either have to make sure I have somebody that's going to hold me accountable to that, or I build in extra time for myself to make sure that the team has exactly what they need to execute. But know your role as the leader and know your strengths so that you can be confident about what it is you're doing in that space. Another important part about being a confident project manager and showing up well as a confident project manager is communication, and communicating with clarity and honesty. Just like distrust multiplies in the dark, and just like, like a mushroom, confidence multiplies when you are clearly and intentionally communicating for yourself. You will feel more confident about your message when you're being honest and transparent about it. Even if the message isn't the message that people want to hear, but when you know you're leading from a place of honesty and transparency and you're working to be very clear and intentional, it does something for your confidence. You're like, okay, I'm out here giving it to them and I'm telling it like it is with love. You don't have to be rude or unnecessarily, people say I'm being candid. You don't have to do all that. Set expectations when you're communicating. Ask questions and actively listen. Actively listening, meaning listening with your eyes and your ears. Pay attention to what people are saying and how they say it. But set expectations. Ask follow-up questions. How does that make you feel? Are you good with that? What's your feedback? And actively listen. So that's the second one of being able to show up as a confident project manager. When you're able to stand on your 2 feet and communicate clearly, that says so much. You look so confident. Third, lead with emotional intelligence. And I know that's a little bit difficult for some of us. And for some of us, that's not our place of strength. And so we have to slow down and be intentional in this space. And it's important to pay attention and to work to be emotionally intelligent when it comes to project management, because projects depend on people. They don't just depend on your ability to relate to tasks. And because it depends on people, it depends on your abilities to relate to people, manage conflict within a team, and to inspire. And so the situation where I shared I was a little bit nervous right before about an hour ago is because I'm dealing with a client in a space where a lot of conflict. There's always conflict. I don't like conflict, but it is very important for me to manage the conflict in this space. I mean, I've had to journal about it. Like, I didn't know I was so conflict averse until I've started working on this specific initiative. There's just a lot of conflict between different parties, and I need to show up confidently. And so, in order to show up confidently, one of the things I need to do is to lead with emotional intelligence and manage that conflict. So, for me, that means wading into it sometimes and saying, okay, I hear you and I hear you. Here's what I hear. Is that what you said? Here's what I hear. Okay, how do we move past this? So I can't ignore this conflict. I want to ignore it so bad. I have to manage it. And so in this specific effort, it counts as much, if not more, than my technical expertise, my ability to manage that conflict and to relate to the people on the project. So in order to show up as a confident project manager, we have to do those things. And I'm just going to repeat them really quick. Know your role and your strengths as a leader. Communicate with clarity and honesty, and lead with emotional intelligence. Now, a little while back, I used to hear people say, I have imposter syndrome. And I blogged on it a lot. And I even feel bad that I just said it in that mocking tone. That's not right. Because it's a valid feeling. To me, it's a feeling when I'm not very confident. Like, am I the right person here? And I am not very prepared. And so I don't know what I don't know. I love when I know what I don't know. Like, oh, I'm not good. I don't know this, but I know this. And because then I can be honest and transparent and communicate clearly. So a good portion, a good important part of being a confident project manager is also being able to quiet some of those fears that lead us to imposter syndrome. Now, I don't hear the words imposter syndrome spoken that much anymore. What I hear people say now is anxious. I'm anxious. I have anxiety about this situation. And I can identify with that. As I start thinking about some things where I know there's going to be a lot of conflict, I'm not sure that I'm very prepared, then I'm anxious, right? But if I get myself very prepared and I prepared for everything that I know I possibly can prepare for, then I can go in with a little bit more confidence. And I still have some twinges of nerves, but I'm not full-blown scared because I know what I know, and I know I've done the best I can do.